Clare and Waterford meet for a fifth successive year in Championship, with Clare winning last year, 2019 and 2018, and Waterford won in 2020. Shane, if you just bring up that image, the Liam Cahill, Brian Lohan image, I just thought was interesting. So they both obviously took over their county at the same, or the job at the same time. Brian Lohan is 2020 to 2022. He's a 55% win rate. Played 11, won 6, lost 4, drawn 1. Liam Cahill has a 54% win rate. Played 13, won 7, lost 6. Like, sometimes you kind of think maybe winning 50-50 of your games is not necessarily that good, but they're obviously beating Limerick nearly the whole time in Munster too. With Liam Cahill, Richie, you obviously have prior experience having played under him. Like, there's a massive pressure on him going into Sunday. They had bigger and better aspirations than maybe fighting it out for that third spot in Munster. What are you expecting from them on Sunday?
Obviously a response, and I think that's what Liam is going to put to the players. This week they'll recover. They'll do very little in training. They'll just I suppose get the bodies right, get the bodies feeling right, and have a chat about it. Like, the only thing, as I said at the beginning, that's going in Waterford's favour for Sunday is Clare probably going to rest 6 or 7 of their big players. Because don't get me wrong, if I was Brian Lohan, I wouldn't be playing Tony Kelly on Sunday with a Munster final 2 weeks away. Now, I might be wrong. He might go full strength. I don't know. But that's certainly going in Waterford's favour. But for me, I think just you look at Waterford on Sunday, some of their players, like Desi Hutchison, for example, very, very sharp, very, very, dynamic out of the blocks. He looked very heavy-legged. He looked tired. Probably Jamie Barron coming back. Like, I think there was one stage in the first half, I think Dara Fitzgibbon for the goal took off. And normally Jamie Barron would be in his shadow, and he left him for dead. So I just think maybe Waterford have done too much too soon. And I know they won the National League, it's a national title, but it's very, very hard to maintain that, lads, for 6 or 7 months, and it's looking like now that they did peak, for a league final, and it's starting to, I suppose, go the opposite way now, and which is unfortunate because, as we said, after the league final, Limerick were 1 and Waterford were number 2. At this moment in time, Waterford are probably number 6 or 7 in the list, and that's the reality of it. But look, Waterford can only do their part in this. They can go to Ennis on Sunday, get a result, and then as they have their fingers and toes crossed that Tipperary do them a favour in Semple Stadium at the same time. So, Liam will be hoping his native county can do him a turn and get him to the All-Ireland series.
Yeah, Kieran, just on that, as a player and a manager, they're trying to turn things around in 7 days. What do you do after such a disappointing result like that? Do you have a meeting on the Monday night and trash things out? How hard do you go in training? How do you turn things around that quickly? And as we're talking about there's also that nagging thing of no matter what they do, the season is out of their control. Like, how do you turn things around that quickly? How do you bounce back? With such a kind of a lifeless performance last week, how do you all of a sudden get re-energized? How all of a sudden do you be bouncing for this Sunday?
Yeah, I suppose if it was me personally, if we were training, I'd probably pull the whole squad over to the corner and we'd have a little chat amongst ourselves, because inevitably Liam Cahill can only do so much. And, in hindsight, probably the greatest stroke that was pulled this year was Limerick by the league, and they timed everything to perfection. And as a result, in Waterford went on to win the league. And, you don't be handed a National League title. That takes a serious effort. And, you look at Wexford a few times with Davy. They went full tilt for the league and they were there at the tail end of the league. Next thing, the quarter-final or the Leinster final, you could see it very leggy, very tired. And when you get to that stage physically and mentally, it's fairly hard to get it going when you only have a week to try get it going. So, as Richie pointed out, the big thing on their favour really is there's a good possibility, Clare are in the Munster final. They have the luxury, as he rightly pointed out, of, picking 5 or 6, put them to the side and using an opportunity to empty your bench, ask a few questions of your subs coming on. Do they really cut to muster at this level? Next Sunday against Waterford, they won't be long finding that out.
See the full video only at patreon.com/OurGame.